back plugged in again. Alright, y'all, so let's go ahead and get right into the tier list. This will be a tier list based off of killer ability. Alright, so some of the characters in this first tier, this first category, these, depending on who you ask and depending on what game modes you're playing, some of these characters could be in the top 10 for their killer. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of where we are. This is my opinion, but I do always do my best to consider all the game modes as possible, all the stats and skills, and my 5 years of experience. So I am kind of the go-to guy for tier lists of this game. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure you like, share, subscribe. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So one of the best around card killers in the game is this Ukiyo right here. Although he is a premium unit, he does have 40 bruiser, 40 berserker, 60 devastation on top of weakened defense, which is really, really great. He has guard break as well. So that is just incredible. Like I said, one of the best around card killers in the game. He does have the beam for strong attack, which is the 725 with and the 2500 length beam. So that's the best first strong attack that you can have without having Havoc. So very great there. Then as far as the next character, we have the Mind Hikone, who he does have long stride with triple flash step, lunging first strong attack, 800 radius second strong attack, and a full screen third, weakening on everything. And he does have paralysis immunity. He's kind of fallen off a cliff a little bit just because he lacks Havoc, right? So that's kind of where he is with that. Very great character though. Like I said, depending on how you slice it, he could be a top 10 super killer in the game, just depending on what game mode you're playing or what the situation is. Next, we're going to talk about the Fierce Battle Ichigo, who is once again a god tier premium character, lunging first strong attack, 725 width by 2500 length beam second strong attack, and his third is actually a 975 distant AoE. But the transformation mechanic on this guy, he does have the chance to hit hidden enemies 100%, which is incredible for a lot of new accounts that don't have those Zeta Pill accessories. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and move on to the Dead Society Rukia. She does have a full melee collision kit, lunging first strong attack, 800 radius second strong attack, same as Mugetsu, Adult Tosh, and Hikone, and a full screen third strong attack. She does have Berserker, and she does have weakening on everything with Last Ditch. So very, very great character. The only thing she lacks is Havoc. She has the 12% SAR built into her kit. Now we're going to move on to Mugetsu, one of the best heart hollow killers in the game. He doesn't have Havoc. That's kind of where he kind of falls off at. Nor does he have any sort of Berserker. He does, however, have weakening on everything and 40 devastation, which means his soul bomb is going to hit like a truck. He kind of fell short of the top 10 no affiliation killers as well. But at the end of the day, he's still a very great character. He just lacks Havoc, which means he's kind of unsafe. But he does heal by 20% in between stages. Next, Adult Toshiro. Actually, he has one of the best lunges in the game. If I'm not mistaken, the second best lunge in the entire game. It's 570 AoE without Havoc. So if he gets Havoc, it would be something like a 630 to 650 AoE, which would be very, very incredible. On top of that, if he does get Havoc, he would have the 960 second. So he would basically be in line to be one of the best characters in the entire game in the current meta. For me, weakened defense and him having freeze puts him over Nemu, and she has Havoc and Berserker. She only has 20 Berserker but no status elements. So as you guys know, if you have a status element, you're going to get 20% less Berserker, which means these two fall right in line. You add the fact that he has weakened defense, which is the best status element in the game right now. You know, I say he slightly edges her out, being the fact that his first has slightly more AoE and his second has a greater spread, although hers has much more length, okay? And her third strong attack hits harder and it has 20% more AoE. He has a revive mechanic with an extra flash step. I think all in all, the fact that weakened defense is so powerful, and he has a status element which is freeze and a better second strong attack, I think he gets over her very slightly. Next, we're going to talk about the movie one Ichigo, who just got resurrected. He got one of the biggest buffs after resurrection. They fixed every flaw he had and buffed his damage a lot. They gave him 20 Berserker, they give him 16% full stamina damage, which is almost basically like 20% berserker or bruiser and extra soul bomb damage. Kind of is how that equates, as long as he's at full stamina. So on top of that, he got added 40% devastation, which he did not have any devastation before. So he actually got 3 new buffs for damage for him, which is absolutely incredible. He already had Havoc, so his third, unfortunately, is only 1080 radius instead of being 1200 radius with Havoc. If it wasn't for that, I would say he would have probably made the top 10 Hollow Killers. Double lunge kit, although a second strong attack does hit in 2 phases. Now we got the Sadkin, the Heart Kenpachi. He is a Heart Sword Killer. Depending on who you say, I mean, even I probably would say maybe Soifon would kind of go above him a little bit. But it really just depends on who you ask. He does hit like a truck. He has the Zeta Pill skill. So very, very incredibly high berserkers. He does refill his strong attacks after he uses his ultimate. But standardly, he does not have a strong attack recharge, and that holds him back. So you can never really add strong attack recharge if you don't have it in your kit already. Aside from Lynx, of course, which everybody can do that. Aside from that, he has a lunging first strong attack, a 725 beam for a second strong attack, and a full screen third. The Lost Agent Soifon, she is the OG Long Stride Guild Quest Queen, okay? One of the best characters in the game for a long time, reigning supreme. She has a double lunge kit, lunge first, lunge second. Her third is a full screen third. She does have devastation with burn on her soul bomb and poison on all of her strong attacks. 4 flash steps with long stride, making her 4 times faster than 90% of the units in the game. With the new Transcendence, all the new power-ups, she just gets stronger and stronger. So you can kind of put her higher or lower depending on how much work you have in her. Max Transcended and all that kind of stuff. But she's still a great character. Redux Toshiro, he would have been, it's very, very close. He was pretty much right there with the number 10 character on the standard, on the non-standard killers, which is Nini. I would say they're very much in line with each other. He has a better first, but her first is still pretty good. Yeah, I mean, when you compare the two, you could maybe make a case for Toshiro being over Nini. Toshiro does have no affiliation killer, freeze on everything, 40 devastation, 20 bruiser. I wish he would have got 40 berserker just because he got the no affiliation killer, but when it comes to non-standard killers, these are killers. Basically, Noel and Ichigo are in here for having captain killer and no affiliation killer, so I'm basically ranking them in this category as well. So the biggest differences between Noel and Daddy Ichigo is that Noel's second strong attack comes back 8 seconds versus Daddy Ichigo's second comes back every 20 seconds. They have the exact same first and second and third strong attack. The only difference is Noel's second strong attack is available every 8 seconds, while his is available every 20 seconds. So to quantify what this is like, your first strong attack comes back every 4 seconds with, recharge links, right? So Noel will use her first strong attack twice before her second strong attack comes back. Daddy Ichigo will use his first strong attack 5 times before his second strong attack returns. So that means you're going to have to use a lot more normal attacks, and you're going to have to just be a lot more unsafe, okay? When you compare the stats and skills, Daddy Ichigo does have a slight buff because he has an extra flash step. His soul bomb hits harder because he has bombardment versus the 60 devastation. And then he does have a boost, which helps the team, but it hurts him as a character. So Noel actually hits 20% harder than Ichigo, and really about 25% when you factor in the difference of full stamina damage. So Noel hits harder than him standardly because she has full stamina damage with SAR built into her kit. But when Ichigo boosts, he's going to be hitting right there with her. She has nullified range resistance, while he has Marauder, which gives him nullified melee resistance and guard break. So you would say, okay, well, he has guard break an extra flash step, and more soul bomb damage. But like I told you, when it comes down to it, in most PvE content, you're going to be using your strong attacks more than anything. And if one character hits harder than the other character, same first, second, and third strong attack, but one character has a 2.5 times more cooldown on a second strong attack, that's going to make Noelle much safer to play and a lot better in most cases. That's just my personal opinion. Some people might think Daddy Ichigo. I think they're so close. You could call it either way. But yeah, so you pretty much went over Noah and Daddy Ichigo. God tier characters, literally the best in the game right now. Next, we're going to talk about the Can't Fear on World Mayuri. He does have absolute God kit. Same kit as Noelle, Ichigo. So yeah, they have the same kit actually. And Chojuro. These 4 characters have the exact same kit actually. The biggest difference is, no guard break or range resistance. Mayuri does have weakening on everything. He does have a Spada Killer, which I think holds him back a little bit in standard PvE content. But he does have the weakening with the high Berserker. So at the end of the day, he's going to be a very, very solid character. Next, we're going to go ahead and move on to Chojuro. And the same exact kit as Noelle, Mayuri, and Daddy Ichigo. So he's going to have the 870 width by 3000 length beam as a first strong attack, 960 distant AoE second strong attack, and 1200 radius third strong attack. So exact same kit, less Berserker. He doesn't hit as hard as Noelle or Daddy Ichigo, but he does get extra damage to enemies that are paralyzed, which is his status element. He has process on everything. Captain Killer, which holds him back in most standard PvE cases, aside from like Captain Weak Guild Quest. But a God Kit character with a not standard killer, still a God Kit character. Next, we're going to go ahead and move on to Zanka no Tachi Yamamoto. So he has Havoc, and he has a double lunge kit. His second strong attack is an 810 AoE lunge. So it has incredible lunge, and I would say it's on par with the 960 second strong attack. I would say 960 is a bit better in most cases, but this is still a God tier second strong attack. One of the best that we actually have in the game. And then his third strong attack is a standard Havoc full screen, so 1200 radius. He has an Immolator, which means every 5 seconds he has a chance to burn some of the enemies on the field, which is really, really good because that procs whether he has killer or not. On top of that, he's really, really good in something like Inheritance Trial, which is the hardest content in the game. So whether he has killer or not, he's still going to burn enemies every few seconds, on top of getting extra damage to enemies while they're burned. Next, we're going to go ahead and talk about the Apache. She is a very, very solid character. She has the shotgun 1200 AoE by 1200 distant first strong attack. It is a beam. 960 second strong attack, which is the best standard second strong attack in the game, and a 1200 radius third strong attack. A Spada Killer. Oh, her soul bomb hits like crazy. 60 devastation, and it does have a heal, and she has weakened defense. So she has one of the hardest hitting soul bombs in the entire game in most standard cases. Next, we're going to talk about the 1000 Blower Nanao Issei. She has a beam first strong attack with a barrier second strong attack with a boost as well. And at the end of the day, it does give her a 20-second cooldown on her second strong attack with full recharge links, which is not really the best, but she does offer the team such great utility with the boost and the barrier. At the end of the day, it pretty much overshadows it, but in co-op situations, she is very, very good. I wish she had double killer because, like I said, she's a non-standard killer, which that can be said about all the characters on this list. It kind of holds them back, aside from Daddy Ichigo and Noelle, who have double killers. So yeah, Eterod has basically the exact same kit as this Retsu, like the exact same kit. The only difference is that he has burn on everything, and he gets increased damage to burned enemies. And she doesn't have a status element, but she has 60 devastation, 40 bruiser, 40 berserker. So what this is God Kit without Havoc. Beam first strong attack, 800 radius second strong attack, and a full screen third. God Kit, okay? So they both have human killer. So yeah, pretty much mirrors of each other, just one's mind and one's heart. and one doesn't have a status element and one does. Next, we're going to talk about the Can't Fear and Word Kisuke. This character does have God Kit with the charge attack. So he has a beam first strong attack, 880 second strong attack, and a standard charge attack, which is a circle around him, which is not the most optimal charge attack because it means you have to get right into the enemy to get the most out of the charge attack, and it's not full screen, and he doesn't have Havoc. So the old style charge attacks that a lot of people really didn't like, myself included. He does have 40 Bruiser, 40 Berserker, and 60 Devastation with a no affiliation killer, and a chance to insta-kill on this Soul Bomb. Alright, I'm kind of happy to be talking about this character. We're going to be talking about the duo Yoruichi and Soifone. Pretty solid character. They are on here as one of the top 10 no affiliation killers in the game. Very good. I mean, the character literally has every single skill that you can ask for aside from Havoc. And the second strong attack holds this character back. If this Yoruichi Soifone had the same second strong attack as, you know, Edorat or Retsu, she would be like higher on way higher on this list, okay? So keep that in mind. She does have poison on basically everything except Yoruichi in Nad form has Lacerate on everything. She's the first character in the game to have poison and 5-second debilitator. Every other character with poison or lacerate or burn, they only get 2-second debilitator. So she's going to have extra time to sap a life away, which is actually going to be pretty good for her. Beam first strong attack, which is the best possible without having Havoc. Her second is akin to Tokinada's second strong attack, where it's this range collision, melee collision, and then she throws out the projectiles, and it just racks up combo a bit faster. And that does play into their whole shtick where the AI assisted character gets 80% more damage based on your combo. So I would imagine once you get to 200 combo, the assist gets 80% extra damage, which is pretty much ridiculous. So, okay. So think about the assist character as a 5-star character because they don't have skills, or let's just say a 6-star character, you know, with the stats and skills, but there's no skills, but you just give them 80 Bruiser and 80 Berserker. That's going to be a huge difference from nothing to go to 80, you know, Bruiser or Berserker. And that's how I understand the skill. So, yeah. Very good. That also draws aggro away from you. It keeps you safe. It does not have guard break, but it can cause status ailments. So in something like IT, the AI character will actually help you with causing status ailments around when it is attacking enemies. Next, we're going to talk about Nini Spangle. I know some people might be like, oh, Nini should be higher. Prove it. She does have really good Bruiser, Berserker, and Nullify range resistance. But really, Nullify range resistance is only in stuff like Guild Quest, Senkaimon, and Extreme Co-op. So those are our pretty limited modes, and even with the Nullify range resistance, she's not the best at any killer or any attribute. So at the end of the day, you know, her first is range collision. It does a lot of damage for range collision. I would say the best range collision first in the game, but it's the range collision, meaning it's not good for dealing with multiple spawns of enemies, and the damage is also inconsistent, as well as her second strong attack comes back every 20 seconds. That's her biggest weakness, is that her second is only a barrier and it's a full 20-second cooldown, whereas at least giving her a boost barrier, and I can see 20 seconds for that, but at the end of the day, range collision first, and your second is only available every 20 seconds. And it's not even a perfect strong attack. It's still range collision. So at the end of the day, you know, she's range and doesn't have guard break. It's like she has a lot of good things about her and a lot of things that aren't the best. At the end of the day, she's still a very great character. And she's going to get the job done in pretty much any content that she's relevant. They're just pretty much always going to be a better option. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and get back into it with the best Flurry units. This should be pretty self-explanatory. This is not based on killer, simply because basing Flurry characters and, you know, with Havoc, without Havoc, it's very hard to say, okay, well, this Flurry character is better than this strong attack character, because they don't clear as fast. No Flurry character is going to clear faster than no strong attack character that's in line with them. So clear speed is out the window. At the end of the day, it's with Flurry characters, it's either about two things. It's about safety or it's about clear speed, okay? And I'm going to tell you why who's the best, all right? Right now, I have Masaki as the best Flurry unit in the game. I will say, in the BBS award show, I had a slight oversight. I put Kisuke over Masaki as the best Flurry unit. The reason that was only because of killer ability, you know, and the fact that Kisuke just reigned supreme in mind, and you know, IZ, right? But Masaki is the best Flurry unit in the game right now, and the reason is safety. She's the safest Flurry unit in the entire game. That's it. She doesn't auto faster, you know, but she's the safest. You know, most of the time she's not going to have killer, but she's the safest. She has high 20% more bruiser than almost any Flurry unit in the game. And she, on top of that, she has a boost and a barrier. She does have that range collision first. Same with Kisuke. She does have poise, right? She's just a god tier character. She's the safest Flurry character in the game, which means she can auto co-ops. That's really what you want. Can my character auto co-op safely 100%? Yes, she can. Because standard PvE content, almost any character can auto it, okay? So that's why I have Masaki over all the other Flurry characters, all right? Now, if you want to go with who autos faster, I'm going to tell you like this. Bam, bam, bam. And I mean, shit. If she doesn't have killer, here, okay? But we ain't even going to do that. We ain't going to do that. But yeah, if you want to go with who autos faster, this is your list right here, okay? All right? So just keep that in mind. Nowadays, I would say autoing is more about safety, alright? But if you want to go standard PvE content, who autos faster, this is your list, okay? This white Ichigo is freaking nanners. Like, they threw in the book at this man. Like, he has the debuff ability that Shuhei has that's 80% negative defense on top of weakening, which that's 30% or 40% negative defense, which is ridiculous. And then he has SAR built into his kit, poise, weakening on everything, and the craziest crawling vortex in the game with weakening, with SAR in his kit. Like, he is a monster, okay? No one's going to auto faster than him, alright? He's not going to have killer in most standard content, but at the end of the day, that's pretty much where we are. So, getting back to how I have this list, and like I said, I have safety over clear speed, alright? But I can't put, you know, took all these three characters over White Ichigo overall. You know what I mean? Like, overall, I would say being able to auto co-op is better, and with him, he just hits so hard everywhere. Like, he's just too good as a Flurry character. He's too good to say Tokinata is better than him after this time. He's not. In co-op, he's safer to use, so in that situation, I would say Tokinata would be better. But he can still auto co-op just the same. The build just slightly different, alright? God tier Flurry unit. Like, God tier Flurry unit. The fastest autoer in the game. Okay? Just be clear with that, alright? So next we're going to go ahead and move on to the Kent Fairy World Kugo Ginjo. And it's really, really, really close to me between him and Masaki. He had the follow-up skill, which is going to help him clear very, very fast. He had the beam first rather than a range collision first. So he's not going to have that issue of like spreading the enemies out. It's going to help him clear a little bit faster than Masaki. But he doesn't have that boost barrier, you know, survivability that Masaki has. So at the end of the day, you kind of have to kind of put him back here. I think follow-up with him having guard break and his Nad string is so damn good. But like I said, he does have a PvE killer, which, like I said, makes him you know, definitely gives him an edge on Masaki. He doesn't have that survivability that Masaki has. So, like I said, that's why, in my personal opinion, he's going to get it. Make sure you guys weigh in. Let me know what you think. Moving on, the Fierce Battle Kisuke pretty much does everything that you want a Flurry character to do. Guard break, PvE killer. He does have a shield, which makes him that much safer in autoing, you know, co-op or any sort of standard PvE content. It's better than guard break because he negates 100% of the damage, you know, 3 times every 26 seconds or so. So, you know, like I said, one of the best things that you really could have as an autoer with having that PvE killer. On top of that, he does have the IZ potioning skill. You know, like let's not ignore that. But yeah, I would say he's over Toki just because barrier over boost for survivability. But guild quests and stuff like that, you would of course prefer the boost. Moving on to our transformation, Daddy Tokinada, one of the best Flurry characters in the game, and he really started the meta of what a god tier Flurry character is. However, he is almost 2 years old, and you know, characters can power creep him as they have done now. So getting into it, he does have the best nurturing possible for a ranged character, same as Kisuke, Masaki, and Kugo Ginjo. They all have the same nurturing. He does have a beam first, and his second is that breed style suction and then range collision, but it does help group enemies and allows him to just, you know, normal attack them all down to death. Very, very great in that regard. Standard full screen third, and transformation mechanic resets his strong attack, including his boost. So there are times where you can get, you know, better uptime with that. All in all, man, one of the best Flurry characters ever designed in the game. Next, we're going to go ahead and move on to the Heart Can't Fear on World Grimjow, the second fastest autoer in the game. For standard PvE content, he's the second fastest autoer in the game. Like, we just need to make that clear. But like I said, most characters can auto standard PvE content. Yes, he's faster. I would just say being ranged, being safer is going to be better overall. In most cases, right? So, you know, he does have the Zeta Pill skill with 50 Bruiser. Pretty much has everything that you'd need, poise and all that good stuff as well. Oetsu does not have poise, but he does have a boost move with a Self Vortex. Self Vortex being the best second strong attack you can have for a Flurry character because it keeps you safe. And if you do have a status 7, it can proc that at the highest clip possible. Oetsu has a lunging first with recharge, full screen third, insta kill chance, drip god. Like, what else do we need to say about Oetsu? Okay. Thousand Blower Soy Phone, aka my Soy Phone, is wind. With her killer, she does not need guard break. Alright, let's make that be clear. If it's a Ronkar, she does not need guard break because she's melee. Alright. That's one of the reasons why she's above the other characters without guard break, is because while she has killer, she doesn't need it. Now, things like Inheritance Zone, where you have double killers, she will need it, but she does have a Self Vortex boost to help her break guard when she does need to. Lunging first strong attack, which is basically the best strong attack for a Flurry character in my opinion, and a full screen third. Really, really good bruiser on her, on top of having Flurry with 4 flash steps, meaning like if you want to give her something like long stride, you could have a mobile absolute tank if you want it. Next, we're going to go ahead and move on to the Death Society Yoruichi. If this character somehow could get guard break, she would be one of the best units in the game. Okay, so she is a 25% normal attack link, so it does get her extra NAD damage on top of her Flurry and Bruiser. Very, very great. She is a super killer with a boost and enhancer. So, like I said, man, lunging first, full screen third, pretty much does everything that you want to do, you know, with her boost and enhancer. She just doesn't have guard break, which does have her fall a bit behind. Alright, we're going to go ahead and move on to the Fierce Battle Nelio 2. One of the better Flurry characters without guard break, and since she has a Ronkar killer and she doesn't need guard break while she has killer, I can go ahead and see putting her over Yoruichi just in that regard. She also does boost normal attack damage for Aron cards by 20% if they're tech. and then by 30% in guild quest. So pretty solid in that regard. With her 60 berserker, pretty damn good. She can't be frozen either, and she has melee damage plus 10%, as well as poison and sprinter plus 2. Very, very great character. Pretty much every stat and skill that you can have except for guard break for a flurry character. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the 1000 blower Izuru. Man, he really is a god tier flurry unit. If he got guard break. If only he got guard break, it'll be a much different story with him. But he does have weakening on everything. He has the high bruiser berserker, and on top of that, he has last ditch as well. I would personally say if this character had guard break, he would be better than Tokinada. And you know, I don't think that's too far of a stretch to say. He's also one of the best NAD characters in PvP. 30 bruiser and 40 berserker, last ditch, flurry poise, and weakening on everything, man. He's just a very, very great character. One of the better flurry units. It's just that he's ranged, and with his killer being hollow killer, there's a lot of range guards. So really does hold him back, because most of the time he's just getting ping, 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 ping. You know what I'm saying? Moving on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and actually chop this up. We're going to go ahead and call this part 1, and then we will do Hollow Killer, Arankar Killer, and Soul Reaper Killer in part 2. I promise you guys part 2 will be out tomorrow. So I'm just going to go ahead and get some rest. The main reason I'm stopping the video here is because I don't want a 60-minute tier list. And then I also don't want to chop out like 40 or 50% of the exposition explaining why certain characters might be better than others, because that might be what you guys clicked on the video for. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure if you like this content, you check out part 2, and know that I do have more tier lists coming out in the way. Till next time, Prophet Nation, I do love y'all, but I'm out. I'll make a way. All them people done got it.